Hey guys, welcome back to Wixfix. I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use pro galleries instead of repeaters on your website. Repeaters can take a long time to set up, and sometimes they can be a bit buggy. And maybe you just don't understand how repeaters work and how they function, so it is a little bit more complicated for you to use repeaters. Then here is another option that you can use that will be just as good. Typically, repeaters are set up with databases to display content on your site. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just go to add, go to content manager, and we're just going to add one of Wix's templates to our site. For this one, let's just go ahead and add projects. Now for pro galleries, if you are making your own database, I would recommend that you at least have an image for each item in your database. But then if we go ahead and go back to our home page for this example, or whatever page you are working on, what we can do is go to add. We can go to gallery, pro galleries, and we can just drag out any of these options onto our page. And if you want to, you can press this little stretch icon and stretch it to the full width of your page, just like that. But you're going to notice that all of these images are the default gallery images. None of these images are from our database. So what we want to do is go ahead and go back up to add, go to content manager, and we're going to add a data set to our page. Now, this little icon is going to appear, and this is only going to be visible inside the editor. So when you publish your website and pull up this page on the live site, you are not going to see this icon. But what we want to do is go into the settings, and we're going to choose the projects collection that we have just created, just like that. So now if we click on the pro gallery, we can go connect to data, and we can choose the project data set that we have just selected right here. So we can go ahead and say projects dataset. And then what you want to do is go down to image source, and we're going to say main project image, or whatever image or whatever you titled your image in your dataset. You're going to want to choose that option right here. And the title, we want to be the project name. Description, if you have a description in your dataset, you can choose that. For this one, we're going to say short project description. And then the link, we want to connect to the dynamic page for project name. That way, if a user clicks on the image or the title or anything like that, it will take them to the dynamic page to learn more. If you don't want to set up dynamic pages for it and you just want your users to look at the different services or projects that you have just on the page inside of this grid, then you can just turn off this link by saying no, not connected. But most people have dynamic pages with additional information for their projects or services or team, whatever. So if you have that, go ahead and select that right here. And if I go ahead and press publish and I pull up the live site, you're going to notice it now has the images from the database inside of it. Now, sometimes you'll also see this inside of the editor as well. However, sometimes it kind of bugs out and doesn't show, but don't worry, if you press publish and pull it up on the live site, it will work just fine. The cool thing about pro galleries is we have a lot of customization that we can do. For example, just like how we stretched it to the full width of the screen, if you don't want it to be that wide, we can also bring in the margins just a little bit like this. Then we can also go into the settings, press layout, and we can choose different layouts that we want to do. We can also go over to customize, and we can customize these to be whatever size that we want. We can also change the amount of images per row. We can change the spacing in between these elements. We can also change the design for the overlays, the text, the buttons. We can set the on click. We can have nothing happen, but don't worry, our database is already kind of taking care of that for us. In the design text field right here, we can have the title and description be visible. We can have it set to on the image when the user hovers, or we can set it to underneath. And then here, of course, we can set the styling for both. We can set the alignment. So let's just say we want it to be centered. And now if I visit the site, here is what it's going to look like. Now, of course, you can adjust the sizing and the overlays, and you can adjust so much more. But if we click it, you're going to see it takes us right to the dynamic page for it as well. Now, I have already created a tutorial for pro galleries showing you everything and all the designs you can do with them. So that video will be linked in the description below. So feel free to check that out. But this basically wraps it up for the video today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, please consider giving this video a like and consider subscribing for more Wix content coming out really soon. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all in the next one.